Off.
No, forgot to hold an election. The unveiling of the White House Christmas decorations took an unexpected turn when Sonny the dog blanked.
Piddled on a tree.
No, he knocked over a toddler. Or she, I guess. She knocked over a toddler. Rescuers got a happy surprise when they discovered a man who had survived for 62 hours in a blank.
Rowboat.
No, capsized boat underwater. 2 Canadian men performed a daring animal rescue mission recently when they blanked.
Twerked.
No. I'm sure somebody out there is twerking at him. No, these 2 Canadian men rescued a shark that was choking on a moose. Derek Chalk was driving along the coast when he saw a large Greenland shark give the international signal for choking. Chalk, with the help of a passerby, gave a quick Heimlich to the shark and then dragged the shark back out to the water. Said Chalk, "It was a good feeling to see that shark swim out, knowing that you saved his life," unquote. That feeling was tempered by the realization they were standing in the shallow water near a shark whose dinner had just gotten interrupted and who had managed to nab a moose. Carl, did Adam do well enough to win?
He needed 7 to tie. He had just 4 correct answers. So with 17 points, Kerry O'Connor is this week's champion.
In just a minute, we're going to ask our panelists to predict what will be the next company to use drone technology. But first, let me tell you that support for our Chicago shows is provided by Hyatt Hotels in downtown Chicago. Booking information is at hyatt.com. Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions. Doug, he's still down in the basement, Berman, benevolent overlord. Philip Gotica writes our limericks. Our house manager is Don Hall, our assistant house manager is Tyler Green. Our intern is Stephen Ticklish Tobias. Our web guru is Beth Novi. Engineers include Les Larchik and Mohammed Mao. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Eva Walchover, Miles Dernboss, and Emily Acton. Technical direction is from Lorna White. Our CFO is Ann Nien. Our production coordinator is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillog. And the executive producer of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me is Mr. Michael Danforth. Now, panel, what companies are going to start using drones and for what? Alonzo Bowden.
I say the military is going to start using drones. We're going to get back to good old-fashioned family values and use them to drop bombs and kill people the way God intended.
Kerry O'Connor.
Husbands, you know how there's that Sunday night and it's late and your wife sends you out to the drugstore for lady products? Drones, baby, drones.
Adam Felder.
It's the sleek, beautiful Apple iDrone. I'm not sure what it does, but I know I need one.
And if we see any of those drones paddle, we'll ask you about it on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you, Carol Castle. Thanks also to Alonzo Bowden, Adam Felder, and Kerry O'Connor. Thanks to all of you for listening. I am Peter Sagal. We'll see you next week. This is NPR.
Thanks for staying tuned for more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me here on member-supported Alabama Public Radio. The Splendid Table's coming up.
Support is provided by Faulkner State Center for Professional Development, offering training in many different areas to meet your company's needs. Learn more at cpd@faulknerstate.edu.
When I saw the big flash from the trees, I saw the flash.
When a UPS cargo jet crash-landed in Birmingham, APR News took you there.
Absolutely. It's a debris field, probably stretching a block and a half of debris, packages, plane wreckage, things of that nature.
That story and more on our website, apr.org.
Every day of the year, you rely on our reporters, writers, and hosts to bring you news that matters. And every day of the year, Alabama Public Radio relies on member support to make this work possible. Your special year-end gift right now will help keep Alabama Public Radio strong all throughout 2014. Make a difference now. Go online at apr.org. And thanks.
This is Alabama Public Radio.
WUAL-FM, WUAL-HD1 Tuscaloosa, a service of the University of Alabama with additional financial support from our listeners.
It's the Splendid Table from APM, American Public Media. I'm Lynn Rossetto Casper. An old cliche, you and your enemy share your foods and understanding breaks through like the rays of the sun. But it doesn't usually work that way. Except when it does, and it did for chefs Sammy Tamimi and Yotam Ottolenghi. Their cookbooks are bestsellers. Jerusalem and now Ottolenghi are beautifully published with gorgeous photos and exotic flavors. But these two authors have an unusual story. Both grew up in Jerusalem. Yotam in the Jewish West, Sammy in the Muslim East. Different worlds, yet shared tastes and sensibilities from their childhoods brought them together. Stay with us. Lots more coming your way this hour on the Splendid Table.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Nora Rahm. Merrill Newman is back home. The 85-year-old U.S. veteran of the Korean War had been detained in North Korea since late October. He arrived a short while ago in San Francisco.
I want to thank the Swedish Embassy in Pyongyang.
to people and reading books. That it's just there was so much interaction that you couldn't tell whether something was Sephardic or Palestinian, because they were there for 500 years or however long in the old city, living side by side with the Muslims and cooking the same food. It wasn't even borrowing; it was just the culinary culture.
So, Yotam, what was it like in West Jerusalem?
West
not the old
Jerusalem,
city.
yeah, West Jerusalem was different. I don't think I had an exotic upbringing as Sammy's. I'm afraid it was much more mundane. But
when they wanted the
exotics,
they used to come to our side.
It's true. Or to go to Jericho or anywhere in there. And actually, on a more serious level, that is true, because Sammy and I were both born in 1968, which is just after the Six-Day War, where Jerusalem was when Israel took on East Jerusalem, and it was all a very new world for us. In the 70s, Jerusalem, the West, the Jewish side, and the East, the Arab side, were still kind of they didn't know what brought them together. There was a slight naivety in the air, and people kind of felt, and I'm sure, Joan, you remember it because you lived in Jerusalem at the time, that it might still work out somehow. Now it doesn't feel like that anymore, but you would go to
There was a sense of hope then.
Yeah, there was a sense of hope, and people didn't know what it means yet. What are going to be the consequences of this massive change, and they haven't been too good. But at that point, I think there was quite a lot of interaction. We used to go to a kebab place or a bakery in the old city and sit there, and there was no sense of any kind of we didn't dread or fear or anything.
Well, at that time, when I guess 20 years later after you were born, you were young, you were gay, you needed freedom to become you. What's it like to go back to Jerusalem?
After more than 20 years, Jerusalem is a tough place to grow up in. So you develop all sorts of, I think, mechanisms to kind of deal with it, and because there's a lot of pressure in Jerusalem. There's a lot of God around, and God
on all sides.
on all sides, and so it's not easy. So I don't think it's a peaceful upbringing. Growing up, there's a lot of wonderful things going on. There's amazing food. There's a lot of liveliness, and that's all great. But there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stuff in the air.
It feels very heavy for kids to be there.
Completely. And to go back is just going back in time. It's kind of, it sits on your shoulders a little bit to go back.
I mean, you feel like it's a place that's stuck in time, although the face of the city changed.